Keep a blade close. With pleasure.
Is that blood? No, never mind.
Apart from an overgrowth of moss, the well looks unremarkable. The coin disappears into the well. After a moment, you hear a soft clink, not a splash. Dry stones line the wall. At the bottom, something gleams in the dappled light.
Better not disturb these webs. Whatever wove them would be much too large for my liking.
Always room for more. Anything of use?
A long way from Waterdeep.
Still breathing. Fine. checked everything.
Lovely day, this. For now.
No time to rest.
Lance board is set. Outflank, outsmart.
Fuck yes.
Quite the cozy setup you have here. I'll just make myself comfortable. Thank you so much. I was just settling in and reviewing my latest findings. Mind flayers, cultists, and, of course, your esteemed company. Why, I'm practically an expert. They've tentacles, you know. Quite shocking. The druid Halsin had some kind of mind flare specimen in a jar in his quarters. A replica, no doubt, but truly fascinating to see up close. Here, on the Sword Coast. Impossible. That can't be. You're either an excellent storyteller, or you've experienced something quite exceptional. Tell me, have you noticed any residual psionic malaise since the alleged encounter? Curious. Illithids, their technical name, form a hive mind. One shouldn't be able to hear their dark whispers unless... That's quite impossible. You'd have undergone ceramorphosis by now. I can't attest to the specifics, but I do know that not long after insertion, the host, that's you, turns into a mind flayer. As there's not a tentacle on your head, I can only assume you haven't been infected. If what you say were true, you'd be a mind flayer by now. You? Infected by a mind flayer? Ridiculous. Isn't it? Still, there'd be no harm in me taking a teensy look, would there? I know all the signs. If I just peer in your eye, I could quickly... Oh, dear sweet gods! I mean, yes. I suppose I can. I'll need to research the particulars, however. Give me a bit of time, and I'll have this little issue sorted.
Shah's blessings upon you.
Well, hello. What can I do for you? Darling, I thought you'd never ask. I'll see you tonight.
Nothing. Both animals look fine. Scratch's tail wags furiously. These two have become firm friends.
Well, hello. What can I do for you?
Better take a closer look.
Wanna dance?
Can't give up now.
Hells.
On the way.
Aye, aye. Where do I go from here? All right then. On my way. Ex textura. Sometimes the only way out is through.
The witching hour.
Go. Still on my feet. Well, so much for peace. Smell blood. Survival is all that matters. What now?
Let me recite their demise.
I feel a breeze. I wonder what's down there.
Well, after you.
The book is locked tight with no visible keyhole, only an oval recess in the cover's mouth. You try to examine the book, but the longer you stare, the more those piercing amethyst eyes draw you in. You can sense something dark about this tome, something profane.
Please don't open the creepy book.
That looks terribly heavy. Why don't you let me carry it for you? Excellent.
You don't know what he read, but it had an effect. His eyes are hungry, but pained.
Well, quite the page turner. I'll get back to it when I have more time to focus.
What to do?
My condition likes being ignored as little as I do. I must consume another artifact. And soon. Thank you. Good gods. It hardly has any effect. Oh, Mystra, have mercy on us all. Listen, I need to speak to you, to all of you. It would be unconscionable of me to remain silent. I might just be about to remedy that. You have to know who I was. You have to know who I really am. What I am is a walking shadow of the promise I once held. I'm what one might call a wizard prodigy. Who from an early age could not only control the weave, but compose it. Much like a musician or a poet. Such was my skill that it earned me the attention of the mother of magic herself. The Lady of Mysteries. The goddess Mystra. She revealed herself to me and she became my teacher. In time, she became my muse. And later, even my lover. Oh, yes. We enjoyed each other's company. Body, mind, and soul. But even so, I desired more. You see, no matter how powerful a wizard we mortals can become, we never scratch more than the surface of the weave. Mystra keeps us in check. There are boundaries she doesn't let us cross. Yet, every time I was with her, I stood on the precipice, gazing into the wonders that lay beyond. I sought to cross her boundaries. I tried to convince her. I pouted, I pleaded, swore my ambition was only to serve her better. She only smiled and told me to be contented. But inconceivable as it seems to me now, I shared a bed with a goddess, and yet I wasn't satisfied. So I sought to prove myself worthy to her instead. We come now to the crux of my folly. Shall I share the story behind it, or would you rather head straight to its sordid finale? Very well. Here goes. Once upon a very long time ago, a mighty lord lived in a tower. A flying tower, to be precise. I'll save his history for another time, but the gist of it is that he sought to usurp the goddess of magic so that he could become a god himself. And he almost managed, but not quite. His entire empire, Netheril, came crashing down around him as he turned to stone. The magic that was unleashed that day was phenomenal. Roiling like the prime chaos that outdates creation. Even the weave itself could not withstand the onslaught. It fractured, then shattered, and all magic was lost to the mortal realms. Until the day Mystra returned. She restored the weave, reuniting all its scattered shards. Or so I thought. Until, in the course of my studies, I learned of a book. A Netherese tome in which a piece of the fractured weave had been sealed beyond her reach. What if, I thought, what if, after all this time, I could return this lost part of herself to the goddess? You know me. My gestures can never be grand enough. I was certain that this deed of raw power, draped in romance, would convince Mystra to take me by the hand and welcome me into her hitherto forbidden domains. I was mistaken. I obtained the fabled book and took it into my study. As for what happened next... Here. Place your hand over my heart. Let me show you.
You feel the tadpole quiver as you realize Gale is letting you into the dark. You see through Gale's eyes, staring down the corridors of a dread memory. A book, bound, and suddenly opened. Inside there are no pages, only a swirling mass of blackest weave that pounces. Its teeth, its claws, it's unstoppable as it digs through and becomes part of you. And gods is it ever hungry.
What is it? What do you see?
Thankfully, the moment I absorbed the fragment wasn't enough to kill me outright. It was only the beginning. This Netherese blight, this orb, for lack of a better word, is balled up inside my chest. And it needs to be fed. As long as I absorb traces of the weave from potent enough sources, it remains quiet. Were it ever to fully destabilize, however. I will erupt. I don't know the exact magnitude of the eruption, but given my studies of Netherese magic, I'd say even a fragment as small as the one I carry, it'd level a city the size of Waterdeep. I know. All of this. It must feel like a betrayal. Say the word, and we'll part ways. That is a great relief. Oh, a great relief indeed. You truly are a soul that steals my own. From all my new rallied heart, I thank you. I thank you all. I understand if you stand against me. I'm humbled if you stand with me. Either way, I will do my best not to let you down. I stand at a precipice, but if you do not give up hope, neither shall I. I'll fight. I'll resist as long as I can. Now, even I am tired of the sound of my own voice. Let us venture forth.
That orb seems powerful. What can it do once it's extracted?
Nothing good can come of it unless it is contained. Why?
It might be useful. Who knows?
That symbol in the blood. What does it mean? Knees high. Still breathing, despite everything.
The shock of psychic pain, the pack leader's mind clamps onto yours. You see yourself through her eyes, a pulsing red cluster of organs. Feast. No. The voice has forbidden this meat. Gnolls see your whole world as a meal. This voice is acting as a leash, but it won't hold them for long. As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority. Deep in the chaos of her mind, something responds to your command. A tadpole. It is the source of the voice. She will obey it. She will obey you. A shiver runs across your mind. You feel sated.
Off we go then.
She is still ravenous, her mind a hungry pit. The flesh of the survivors wasn't enough to satisfy her. Sensing your presence, the gnoll's tadpole writhes in ecstasy, echoing your command. Its host will feast on gnoll flesh to control the hunger, to keep her teeth from your throat.
Tactical.
No gloom, all doom.
Never a dull moment.
She is still ravenous, her mind a hungry pit. The flesh of her pack wasn't enough to satisfy her. Her tadpole responds, thrashing violently, and the fragile tissue of her brain tears and splits. You taste the blood in her throat, feel it pooling in the cavity of her skull. But she still resists. Your tadpole wriggles, contented, as she tears out her own throat.
Another parasite. Collect it. It might be useful.
looking chest. What treasures might that be filled with?
Well, there's only one way to know for sure.
To think, Gale's had this devastating war within himself the entire time, and only just mentioned it. Who'd keep a secret like that from his friends? You can't trust anyone these days.
Survival is all that matters. I'm exhausted. Better find somewhere to camp soon.
What are you hiding? Can you summon the dead? Bring them back? Can you... Can you shut up and let me read? What? No, not you. I was just perusing this little find. Will you shut up? Forgive me. This book reads you more than you read it. I mean, it plays with your mind. There are secrets here, but the book has spirits. They fight you every step of the way. I barely opened it when they started whispering from the shadows. Now, every time I open it, the voices surge back into my mind. I can't reason with them. They exist to protect that book. Perhaps. But Would that damage the tome itself? I can't risk it. There's something valuable in here. Someone went through a lot of trouble to protect this tome. It has to be something more than a book of cantrips. Still, I doubt this will help us with our parascience. Maybe it's better to put it aside for now. It's a book of necromancy, full of secrets about controlling the dead, returning the dead to life, and who knows what else. Whatever's in here, it might give me an edge over my old master, Cazador, or free me from him entirely. Although I can't make any progress as long as those spirits remember their mission. It seems to be all they know. Still, if nothing else, maybe I can beat Cazador to death with it.
Soldier?
I suppose you want to hear about Cazador. My old master. Before the Mind Flayers took me from him. Before this strange, twisted freedom. Cazador Zar is a vampire lord in Baldur's Gate. The patriarch of his coven, and a monster obsessed with power. Not political power or military power, I mean power over people. The power to control them completely. He turned me nearly 200 years ago. I became his spawn, and he became my tormentor. A vampire's spawn is less than a slave. They're a puppet. We have no choice but to obey our master's commands. They speak, and our bodies react. It's all part of the deal. Sometimes he'd order us to submit to torture. Sometimes he'd have us torture ourselves. Whatever his weather-vane mood settled on. Thank you, but this isn't about sympathy. It's about knowing what we might be up against. The Mind Flayers aren't the only monsters out there, and they might not be the only ones hunting us. All I'm asking is that you keep your eyes open and watch out for anything lurking in the shadows. What more could I ask? Now, is that all? I won't lie. It's tempting. If I keep the tadpole, I risk transforming into a grotesque monster. If I lose the tadpole, Cazador has control of me, body and soul, and I return to the shadows. It's grim either way. So why not sell what's left of my soul to a devil? Better he has it than Cazador. I'm glad to hear it. Whatever's coming, we need to keep our options open. I was so hoping you'd say that. Until later, then.
Tell me, what can I do for you?
Ah, yes. Karsus.
Karsus was perhaps the most powerful wizard that ever lived. The child who would be a god, the elves called him. And he tried. With a spell of his own devising, he endeavored to usurp in one fell swoop the power of the goddess of magic. Mistril, she was called then. Imagine what it must have felt like to be a god.
To know yourself, to be untouchable. To be mistaken. As Karsus aimed his spell at her, she began to unravel, and with her, the entire weave. Too late did he realize what he had unleashed. It would have been the end of everything had not Mistral sacrificed herself. The goddess of magic is all magic. By dying, the entire weave was lost, and the spell that challenged a god failed. It was the end of Mistral, the end of Karsus, and the end of an entire civilization. As the child who would be a god was turned to stone, his empire came crashing down around him. The floating cities of Netheril were no more. An event that came to be known as Karsus's folly. Loving them has its side effects as well. Now, so many centuries later, I try to follow in the footsteps of Karsus. Not to destroy Mystra, but to prove my love for her. I tried to control only a fraction of the magic that was unleashed that fateful day. I merely sought to return one tiny diamond to an imperfect crown. Gale's folly, one might call it. History, repetition. It's the way things go. If it should ever come to that, if I ever know I am no longer able to stop it, I will do anything I can to ensure no one but me pays for my mistakes. I will find the remotest place on the surface of Faerun, or perhaps far below in the depths of the Underdark. I will await that death, alone. I promise I will not betray your trust. You kept me by your side despite the menace that I am. If worst comes to worst, I will be long gone before the curtain falls. Charmed, I'm sure.
Oh, I could go for a good meal.
I've got a long road ahead.
Beast reeks of brimstone and offal, every breath thick with blood. Almost gagging, you mutter a quiet prayer to your god. You hear what comes next before you see it. The sharp snapping of bones, and a yelp of pain as her body starts to twist and undulate. The realization hits you. That stench wasn't the dead. You can sense that the hyena's very flesh is desecrated. Gnolls can spawn from the corpses of dying hyenas. Slowly, her broken body starts to calm, to stop its wild contortions. She lies still. As the life fades from her eyes, the gnoll within her dies too, stillborn.
knight to King 5.
I'm heating up. Ooh, fun. I won't give in.
Overrun with gnolls.
I had no idea this was their mating season.
We should find the rest. Stop the infestation before it spreads.
Let's have a look. Don't mind if I do. Smoke. Something's burning. I hear shouting. Drowcraft armor. No magic left though. Sun's too bright.
I'd love to, thanks.
Fire! Hurry! Get this thing off me! You did it! Thank you. Thank you.
No one stopped me yet.
He slaughtered everyone. Mary.
I'm afraid proper thanks must wait.
Miri. No. Gods, no, no, no. You should have stayed. You should have been with me. She follows... followed... gone. Thank you. She would have liked that. The gods won't listen to me. It's my fault she's dead. If I just kept my mouth shut about that bloody dowry, she'd still be here. I'm sorry, Miri. I'm so sorry. Please, just go. I need a moment with her.
You have my attention.
Careful, I bite.
Looking ahead.
Oh, a little respite does wonders.
Fresh air. At last. Your boldness is a blessing. I'm in your debt.
Counselor, are you all right?
It takes more than mere fire to break me, Yuva. Now listen close, Fist. Duty calls. Drow have taken Grand Duke Ulder Ravengard westward, if my eyes and ears can be believed. Gauntlet, report to the man and send for reinforcements. We must find the Duke.
On your command, Counselor.
The rest of you, count the dead. Take word of their sacrifice to this city. And you, I must ask again for your aid. Please, rescue Ravengard from his drow captors. The Council will reward you for your effort. May I trust you'll see it through? Moonrise Towers, along the old road. That place is cursed. Few could survive there, unless darker forces are at work. This was no random attack. The Grand Duke was their target. Thank you. And should your courage falter, remember the Duke's generosity. Approach the towers with care. The land itself has been swallowed in shadow. I will seek reinforcements and join you when I can. Fist, to work.
Surprised this hay hasn't gone up in flames yet.
Lost in thought. Look at that. There's a chest hidden in the hay.
It's for her sister's wedding. I made a stupid joke about keeping it. We argued about it for hours. Then she took the dowry and left. I know this doesn't change anything, but it helps. Thank you. I need some time alone with her. To say goodbye.
Someone's moving around in there.
You spot a man crouching between the shelves, just as he spots you.
Bugger!
He freezes, waiting on your next word.
Oh, hell, dwarves. I thought you were flaming fist. Well, down you go then. They'll be on us soon, so if you're looking to trade, you'd best be quick. Entrance is hidden behind the wardrobe. Here's the key.
Look at that.
That's far enough. What's your business down here? Answer honestly and maybe we'll kill you clean. Trade with what? Your life was ours the moment you walked in here, but maybe I'll let you buy it back. I have a job needs doing. We've disarmed the traps. Come down.
Watch how you go. There's a trap.
What's that smell?
Place is trapped.
Not many can talk their way into a Zhentarim outpost. I could use someone with your skills. Interested in a job? Still am as it goes. Take it as a mark of respect. But right now, I reckon we're better off friends than enemies. You interested or not? Some of our people are missing. More importantly, so is their cargo. Find them. Keep them alive if you can. Failing that, just bring that shipment back. Unopened. I'm offering hard coin, not idle answers. All you need to know is that I'm willing to pay a hideous sum to get it back. Unopened. God damn it! What about the shipment? The Sharber's black bones, you did it! And still sealed. You're a goddamn wonder. Here's your coin. Actual professionals are rare. You ever want more work? Come and see me in the gate. Our trader can show you some of our more exotic items now. But don't delay. This place is likely to be rubble soon. Someone kidnapped a duke, right on our bloody doorstep. The Flaming Fist will need someone to blame. I don't plan on it being us.
Who are you? It's Muse. Don't pretend you know what that means. What kind of drawing you want? Once. Like, any kind of...
Well, don't you cut a fine figure? Want your portrait done? If you have the gold, my pet artist will make you a most heroical likeness. Let's say we're his patrons, yeah? Found him wandering the wilds alone. He needs protection. And if his paintings cover our costs, so much the better, eh? Are you looking to buy him? I'm open to offers, mate. Threats, not so much.
I doubt you've got that kind of dosh line about. All right, so maybe I was fishing. No fooling you. He's all yours. Don't forget to feed him. He balls something proper.
All right, back already? Of course. Got some interesting stock for a friend of the family. Pleasure. All right, back already?
I can't say I've ever been bought before. How much did I fetch? No, don't tell me. There's nothing so depressing as learning one's true value. Well, you should at least know what you've paid for. I am the Oscar Fevras, at your service.
Ha ha! Quite. Well, now that... Wait, you're not serious? Indeed. I'll just... carry your things, then, shall I? Scrub your boots? Just one moment. You can shove your boots where even Lathander can't light. I am no one's slave.
Watch your back. Oh, for a skeleton key.
Never a dull moment.
Any falls behind, I leave them for the fist, and in no state to tell tales.
God help. Allow us peace in this plane and beyond.
The blacksmith's blueprints. Weapons from the looks of it.
His designs are unfinished. Rough drafts, no more.
As you approach, a guttural scream and a succession of quick bangs rattle the door. Then, a low moan. Someone, or something, is having a bit of fun.
Wait, don't interrupt them. Let me do it. They sound disgusting.
What the hell are you doing?
Ruined. Smash! Oh, smash you! Get out!
Let's play. Death is but a word away.
Bugbear and an ogre.
One moment they were embracing each other in intimacy. The next they're embracing only death.
A scout just reported. The goblins' leadership has been decimated. We might escape this place yet. And I hear you are the one to thank. I'm grateful. I took a collection from all of us. It isn't much, but you've earned it. It's not enough, but it's all we have.
Halsin will likely want to thank you too, mind. He returned just a while ago. I believe he's catching up with Kaugha. As for us...
No armies at our heels. Amazing. We can finally leave. But perhaps we need not speak of farewells. We'll join your camp tonight to celebrate if you'll have us.
Not me.
You took it upon yourself to undertake the Rite of Thorns. I ought to exile you from this place. Forever. Instead, I shall listen to the explanation that you owe me.
An error, most grave, master. I beg your grace.
Grace is bestowed by nature, not me. You will stay as a novice anew. You have forgotten the ways of the druids, the natural order of things. It is up to you to prove the lessons have been learned once more.
So as you say. And so it is done, master.
She shows great insolence. But time will humble her. And the Grove still needs her. You will soon see why. But enough of that for now. I owe you my thanks. The Grove stands. Nature prevails. And again, I am in your debt. Speak to Wrath. He will reward you for your efforts. The journey to Moonrise Towers, and all the dangers that entails. But that's tomorrow's problem. Take some time for yourself tonight. Rest, celebrate. Come morning, I'll be by your side.
In the shadows. May Sylvanas forgive me.
You've done it. You brought Halsin back. Thank you. No, thanks is not enough. May Sylvanas bless you for all your days. I cannot imagine taking on a camp full of goblins was a simple task. Fair enough. I should not have underestimated you. And I promised you a reward, didn't I? Let me show you on your map where you can find the cache. Take this rune. You'll need it. Place it among the pedestals inside our library. When the wolf glows brightest, everything in the vault below will be yours.
Blessed day. I was worried I'd never see Master Halsin again. You kept your word. Thank you. And bloody hells, did we need it. But here, to mend any hurts. Thank you. What else do we need?
A parasite. brimming with magic. Take it.
Well, well. What have we here? A beautiful glaive. So why does touching it give me a knot in my stomach?
To tidy this place. Sylvanas keep you.
I see it on your face. You hate me.
Gates should stay closed.
The grove doesn't feel the same. And colder.
No more fighting. Just peace.
How many will die the next time we throw open our doors?
Seek and you shall find me.
What's cooking?
Gods will never learn.
To pull it together.
Don't touch me.
Please return. Before it's too late.
No one back home will ever believe this.
What a day. Let's crack it open.
All right, what now?
I'm fine.
Loosen up, Icaron.
No, no, an owlbear.
Toddlers are easier to please than you lot.
Would you look at this place? All these people happy because of us. It's nice to be somewhere where good is still possible. And with good potations, too. Fuck yes! I'm celebrating my freedom, and our friendship, and these folks' bright future besides. All I need now is a fire-retardant lover to get lost in till sunrise. Not so much. You spend the whole time avoiding swords and schemes. Plus, people just get nastier as the night wears on. I tried to make friends at first. Learned my lesson fast. Better to keep to yourself in hell. You too, soldier. Enjoy yourself tonight. You've earned it.
Everyone seems to be in high spirits. Strange. You know who I never thought I'd find myself caring for? Exactly right. Never gave them much thought. Certainly not that bunch in the grove. Yet we came through for them. We saved their lives. Odd. That's more easily said by some than others. But nobody's here to debate right from wrong. Share a bottle with me? As you like. Try not to tire yourself out too much.
I have seen the Kithraki tear a screaming Neogi's legs from its belly to fashion into blades. Yet, they could not match your nerve today. It was enough to drive me to madness.
I smell their blood on you still. I smell your moisture. How torturous for us both that I'll never get a taste.
Oh, but do enjoy yourself this night. I intend to myself.
You have no idea how good it feels to see these people smiling. The singing we could probably do without, but even so, thank you.
Go on now. Don't waste a night like this talking to me. We'll discuss your problem tomorrow. I'm sure there are. You strike me as extremely resourceful. But there are many grateful people here who want to spend time with you. I must not keep you all to myself, as enjoyable as that may be. Go on, enjoy yourself. Seek out some wine before it runs dry. There are a lot of thirsty people around here.
Beautiful night, don't you think? Nothing like a brush with destruction to make one appreciate the majesty of a celestial canvas. It's a view I would once have shared with my companion, though definitely unaccompanied by such revelry. She preferred it when we were alone, curled up before a crackling hearth with some ancient, esoteric tome between us. Ink glinting in the firelight. By a Garon's lost nose! No! Tara is not any cat. She's a Tressum. And given your confusion, I'm guessing you've never met one. They're brilliant creatures. Fine company for any self-respecting wizard. She'd be most impressed by our efforts saving these tieflings. Proud, even. And I've given her little to be proud of recently. After I was afflicted with my condition, I locked myself in my tower for an entire year.
was inconsolable, wallowing in my self-inflicted tragedy.
I've given up on myself. But Tara never did. It was her encouragement, her research that led me to my treatment. Once we knew that magically infused items were the key, she went out to find them for me. She saved my life. After so long being cared for by someone else, it feels good to have repaid the favor. Not directly to Tara, but to these poor tieflings. I'm sure she would approve. You remind me of her somewhat. There's a steeliness in you, an unwavering tenacity, even in the face of, to be frank, quite dire odds. Wish she were here for me to make a formal introduction. But I would never ask her to undertake such a journey. She's safer at home. Besides, she was always telling me I needed to spread my wings, so to speak. Find mortal friends instead of hanging onto Mistress' coattails. So that's what I'm doing. I hope. I assure you, were you to meet Tara, you would see the comparison for the flattery it is. But perhaps that's not a point worth laboring further. Suffice it to say, I think rather a lot of you. And there aren't many on this plane who I'd give such high praise. Were I to recite that list, I fear we'd be here at dusk tomorrow. Many things, I assure you. But a conversation better saved for another time. With my condition as volatile as it is, I fear any undue excitement may tip it over the edge, so to speak. Go. Indulge in the frivolities. They're good for the heart. And mine will be all the lighter to see you enjoying yourself.
Patience? Have you no respect for showmanship?
Having performance issues, Roland?
Hush you, and behold! Adoring applause? You're too kind.
Remember when he could barely cast that?
They grow up so fast.
Never have I met such troglodytes. Now, pass the wine.
You know, I never pictured myself as a hero. Never thought I'd be the one they'd toast for saving so many lives. And now that I'm here... I hate it. This is awful. True. That was fun. Still, I would have liked more for my trouble than a pat on the head and vinegar for wine.
It's a heavy, rich red, dry and sharp.
See what I mean? Awful. All I want is a little fun. Is that so much to ask? Well, that would certainly spice up this evening. Let's wait until things quieten down. Once the others are asleep, we'll find each other. Indeed you will, my love. Indeed you will.
Buzz of celebration quiets to a soothing hum as you approach your bunk.
Though you seek repose, you needn't spend the night alone.
There is one who yearns for you in the dark. Who will you seek? Your heart skips a beat. What treasures might this night bestow?
There you are. I've been waiting. Waiting since the moment I set eyes on you. Waiting to have you. Don't I? You're here. And I don't think you want to talk. I think you want to be known, to be tasted. What do any of us want? Pleasure. Yours, mine, our collective ecstasy. That's what you want, isn't it? To lose yourself in me. Then let's have some fun. It's a poem, a gift from Cazador. He considered himself quite the artist and used his slaves as a canvas. He composed and carved that one over the course of a night. He made a lot of revisions as he went. Infernal? Who knows? The bastard was insane. Anyway, enough pillow talk. Let's go before the Tieflings drag us into another mess.
I trust you enjoyed your evening. After all your efforts, it was well deserved. It may be some time before you're afforded another such night. There is much to be done. And I promised I would help you however I could. I'm certain a cure for you can be found at Moonrise Towers, but it's complicated. The journey specifically, it's extremely perilous. Though it seems you're well accustomed to navigating danger. To get to the towers, you'll need to pass through a terrible place. A cursed place. This curse shrouds everything in shadow. You will not find life, light, or anything natural there. Any who linger are twisted by the curse. They become shadow beings, tormented, dangerous souls. You could go overland, along the Risen Road or through the mountains. Easier at first, but you'll run into the shadow curse eventually. You could also go under. There is a tunnel somewhere in the ruined Temple of Selûne. It leads to Moonrise Towers through the Underdark. Long ago, a man called Ketheric Thorm built a secret stronghold deep down there, before rallying a whole army of Dark Justiciars, Shah worshippers. Aradin and his lot were looking for a way down there. They were promised riches if they retrieved a relic called the Night Song. but I think there's more. From this stronghold, Ketheric's forces could access both the Temple of Selûne and Moonrise Towers. But he was defeated before he could launch an attack. If you can find this place, I'll wager it will reveal a more direct path to Moonrise Towers. And maybe even bypass the worst of the Shadow Curse. Already? If only I'd gone with you instead of Aradin. I would like to join your camp, if you'll allow me. I can offer my skills, my counsel. I've long sought to return to Moonrise Towers. It seems our fates have aligned. May Sylvanas guide us.
It's always a pleasure to see you sauntering over.
Copper for your thoughts?
Oakfather's blessings to you. I studied one up close. Closer than most would care to be to those things. A drow attacked me and I defended myself. Afterwards, I was able to examine the tadpole that emerged. Hideous, but fascinating. Like nothing else in nature, I'm glad to say. Hopefully. I've chosen a successor as first druid. Francesca of the High Forest. I sent a bird to summon her. If only everyone said that. The Grove needs to move beyond the mistakes of the past. What it needs is an unknown quantity. An outsider who can enforce the Oakfather's teachings without bias. This is why I chose Francesca. She will restore simplicity and purity to the Grove in my absence. Indeed. It's had the whole region around Moonrise Towers in a chokehold of darkness and despair for years now. Those who remained are shadow-cursed. If you don't die at their hands, then you become one of them. We have to get to Moonrise, but the less time we spend in its blighted surrounds, the better. Those illithid creatures threaten the natural order. It's my duty to do what I can to stop them. There's also the Shadow Curse. It's an affront and must be cleansed. I helped overthrow Ketheric Thormund Dark Justiciars years ago, but I failed to prevent him from unleashing darkness across the region before he was defeated. If I can join you and get close to Moonrise, perhaps I can lift this curse, just as you find a cure for your infection. Well, there's hardly anyone left to share the responsibility with. Few who witnessed the fall of Moonrise still draw breath. What Ketheric Thorm unleashed is not something that nature can undo by itself. I must do what I can. I studied the Shadow Curse for years, but to truly understand it and stop it, I must reach its source. Precious little. But I'm quite certain it can still be found. Perhaps. But we'll need to get closer before I can put my theory into practice. Put it from your mind for now. Once we near the curse, then there will be more to be said. Precisely. Then perhaps I could have done something. About both the Shadow Curse and Ceremorphosis aberrations. But in my eagerness, I put far too much faith in the abilities of Aradin and his band. We didn't even get close. Miss it? Oh dear, no. It's a terrible burden. Takes you away from nature and forces you to deal with others' problems and personalities. Be wary of anyone who actually wants such a role, I say. Likely they don't understand it, or they have ill intent. I'm just glad to be out here amidst the Oak Father's creations. There are few things that are too strong for me. And cast those regrets aside. You did not get caught up in the moment. You seized it. In other circumstances, I would have done the same. Perhaps. But best to not dwell on nights past. There are plenty more yet to come. With such stimulating company, never better.